this is Michael with Harvey Jewelry Designs. Today I'm going to do a video tutorial on how I make my silver leaves. Now, I make several different types of leaves, different sizes, shapes, but today I'm just going to show you how I make my basic S-shaped leaf. I know a lot of you have had questions on how I do that. It's taken me about a year to finally get a good system down and techniques to where I'm able to produce a nice looking leaf that I like. So if you're at the beginning stages and you've tried before and it just didn't come out quite as well, just give it another try again. It's just going to take some time and some practice is definitely what it is. But in this video, I hope that you will learn different techniques and something that will be able to help you to make some awesome looking leaves. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the tutorial. All right, I just want to go over what I'll be using in the video. We have here, I'll go with start off with this one. I'll talk about this here in just a little bit later. But this is our scribe that I use to mark on the silver plate. Just makes it a lot easier. I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. Just some scissors, shears to cut little metal pieces off as well. We have a little straight stamp for the detail stamping. Of course, a jeweler's saw. And wax lubricant for the jeweler's saw, and then my little needle file, which is the I guess triangle one, I guess. Yeah, that's what I use. And and of course the hammer when we're using our stamp here to make the little leaf details in it. All right, so that's the tool list as far as that. Let's go and get started on making our leaf. Alrighty, what we have here are my templates that I use for my leaves. I have, you can draw out other ones as well. You don't have to use the specific design, but these are what I go by. I just place these onto a plate. I use a 26 gauge plate. I think a 26 gauge for a leaf is a good thickness. If you'd like to use a little bit thicker, you're more than welcome to, but I wouldn't use anything thinner than a 26 gauge, because when you go to dome it, right here where you have stamped it with the lines, could possibly tear. So I think a 26 gauge plate works perfectly well. Okay, so have my plate, take my leaf here, and then I'm going to use my scribe tool, and I'm just going to scribe the outline of it. This thing is very, very, very useful. I use it on every single piece that I do. So anywho, what we're going to do is get this scribed on there, and then we're going to cut that out here in just a second. All right. Alrighty, you can see the outline of it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me see. All right, cool. I poked myself with the edge of this thing, or with one of the edges, and it started bleeding. Be very, very careful. I'm always poking myself and burning myself, and it's not a good combination when you're naturally clumsy and you're working with sharp blades and fire. I have to be extra careful. All right, so I have my jeweler's saw here. This is just your standard, German-made jeweler's saw. This thing is super old. I swear, all of these tools that well, not all, most of the tools that I use in here are hand-me-downs from my mom and from my dad. So these things are, I guarantee you, are older than me. Look at this. I mean, this is a piece of wax, a wax ball that, we use to put on the, to lubricate the blade. That's very important. You want to make sure that you lubricate your blade so that it doesn't stick and it makes it easier to cut. But I guarantee you, this thing is probably older than me. I'm 32 years old, and I'm pretty sure this is older than me. Probably, I think that's the only one that they've ever bought. That's pretty crazy. Anywho, so what we're going to do is we're going to start here at the tip. And we have the rounded part that's up here. I like to start right there because it's got a nice sharp edge and it just makes it easier to start there. So let me give it one look. Alrighty. Getting started seems to be can be a little tricky sometimes. What I find that works the best for me is going super slow. Just get a little Get going just a little, and then once you see that you're starting to cut into it, you can start going a little bit faster. Oops. Okay, be very careful. I don't want to snap that blade. These things break very easily, so you have to be really careful. Alrighty, got that cut out. Alright, this I did not do a very good job with this one. Right here, if you can see, it's a little flat. It's not quite rounded, but that's okay because once we put the do the stamping and put in a little half round, or not half round, round wire in the middle to be like a little vein that goes in the middle, and then we do the filing and detailing on the ends, you won't really notice that, so looks pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, what I have here is a 20 round wire. This we're going to use for the center of the leaf. So what you can do, take your pencil. I said that with an accent. Take your pencil and just kind of draw a line where you like it. Now it doesn't have to be like dead center or anything throughout this, but it's just kind of for a guide. All right. Now I'm going to use my round nose, and I'm just going to shape it kind of like how I think it will go. Okay. You know, my mom, she's made so many leaves over the years. She uses the scissors that she's had, you know, since before the flood. I swear, I don't know how she uses those scissors. I'll have to show them to you, but I can't cut them out like she does. She'll get a nice cut like this with using her scissors, but I have to saw them out, and that's the only way I can get a nice shape. Because if I try to use something else, it just doesn't work for me. Okay, that looks good. Just gonna make a little cut that off right there. Think that looks pretty good. Just make sure it lays flat on your plate. Now you want a little bit of a hang off at each end with the wire. So when you solder, you can just kind of trim that off however you like it. Or even if you like, you can make this part right here a little bit longer and use it for like a decorative. You can like twist it and then place it onto your piece. That would look kind of cool. But we're not going to do that today. Okay, get your flux and just put it on there. There we are. Okay, and then I have a kind of a low heat. It's not too high. Heat up your leaf. All right. And we want to put just a little bit of solder. You don't want to put too much. Just until you see it run. That can happen really quick. I like to do one at each end. Oop, that moved. Let's see if I can get that to go back. There we are. That's better. Just a smidge. Okay. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the pickle, and then next we will stamp it.